moving on from that, you was mentioning how your acquaintances are making 150 to 200 a month. You're making a fraction of that. Where do you spend your money on?
Right now?
Yeah, or maybe your first few clients. Because how as entrepreneurs, when you kind of that, when you get the first 4-figure month, for example, you might buy something that you've been thinking of for a while. How's that journey for you, and then compare it to now?
Okay. So very interesting, right? So this is something that I spoke about with my life coach slash like therapist last week, which is like intrinsic versus extrinsic rewards. So I'll answer your question first about like what I buy. So the first client that I signed, right, the 3.5k a month one, I spent £100 to buy myself a watch. That's it. The next client that I signed, it was 2.5k a month. I bought myself a blender.
Wow.
Right? And then the third client that I signed, I think it was for 4k or some shit. I can't remember honestly, but significant amount. I bought myself a slow cooker. This was mid-pandemic though, so like I was like, let me spend like 1% of my income on these like stuff. But I mean, 2021 last year, I lived in South Kensington, really nice apartment. I spent like 30k on watches. I think. Wait, no. I didn't spend 30k on watches. I spent like maybe 25k on watches. But that's appreciated, right? Yeah. So I didn't really see that as expensive. And this year, my rent is basically nothing. It's like $500 a month. Yeah. But I spent a lot on travel this year. So I took my team to Turkey, went to Dubai with my girlfriend, Miami, Bahamas, New York. Spent a lot of money traveling this year.
Yeah. Where did you get to in terms of revenue per month before you thought, let me go crazy with the traveling? Because it seems like you said, it seems like email marketing is a high margin business. So I find it really shocking that only that you're spending like 1%. Because some people will make, you get your first 3.5k client.
Yeah.
People with, the people that will get car finance straight.
Yeah, it's true. But I'm scared though. So I have a big insecurity towards financial instability because growing up, I didn't have any money. And my grandparents, so I was brought up by my grandparents for a couple years and stuff. And they grew up in like communist China, right? Like actual communist China, which is like, wasting food is the biggest crime. And, save your money, save your bread, don't spend it. So very much a part of that mentality. And when I first came to this country with my parents, like we were broke. Like it was like, we just never lived in council blocks because we didn't realize there was free accommodation provided by the government. Oh, wow. So, we lived on top of chicken shops, renting rooms, halal butchers, no heating, cockroaches. Like I thought that shit was normal, right? Like water pressure and all of that stuff. So I just, growing up, I always used to think luxury goods were a total waste. And I kind of, not villainized, but like, I never assign any value to it. So for example, when I would see someone dripped out in all designer, I would see, oh, that's a very empty person right there, right? So I was like, when I get rich, I would not be like that. So I never really spent anything on luxury items. So the first year I actually saved, my first year I made £65,000 net and I saved 80-90% of that, right? So going into the second year, that's how I was able to get a really good deal for my apartment because I just paid 6 months rent up front. And second year I didn't save as much money. I put it more so in watches. I lost quite a lot on crypto.
We'll get on to investing.
Yeah, and then this year I'm just stacking cash, to be honest.
Waiting for asset prices to drop, I guess.
Yeah, but there's also a few moves I want to make that's going to require like quite a bit of capital. So, I need to keep that bankroll fat. Otherwise, I would feel pretty insecure.
Yeah. So then, so you use the word insecure, but from where you come from, like me, middle class family, mum and dad's, what was okay, like normal, very normal. So for you to come from where you come from to now, Do you ever feel like you've already won in life?
For me personally, no. So this is like it's called a shame pattern, which is like in China, right? When you're a child, when you're in the school system, everything is very much metrics and grades oriented, right? Like, after every exam, you're ranked number 1, number 2, number 3, all the way down to the bottom in the class from a grade standpoint. So the hierarchy there was very much grade centric, right? So I always had good grades. In my entire life, I've never really flunked anything. So your reputation in Chinese schools is based on like your grades pretty much, right?
Yeah. So
I thought I was cool. People validated me around me and stuff like that. But when I came to the UK, the social hierarchy in schools is nothing really to do with grades. It's more like which kid ran the fastest. Later on, it's like who has the nice clothes, who plays the most video games, blah, blah, right? So I always felt super unpopular as a child. Even though, and sometimes I would like kind of, I guess like hate myself a little bit in my teenage years. By the way, what was the original question? I want to relate back to it.
Yeah, the original question was, don't you feel like you've won in life? Because you mentioned how you're insecure with you're insecure with I don't know how much money you have, but from where you come from, that's a 1,000,000% return.
Yeah. So basically, growing up, my mom always compared me to the other kid who was, getting better grades than me or whatever. So that drilled into a pattern of me always comparing myself to other people and just feeling like I'm never enough, to be honest. It's more just like, oh, I hit this goal. Is it that impressive? Not really, bare minimum. Next, right? So now I parent myself and I instruct that of myself now, rather than my parents enforcing it, because to them, honestly, I have made it. Like, I've exceeded all their expectations, and they don't criticize me anymore just because like they think that I've won in life, but because they've drilled that pattern in me, I still feel like I haven't. So I don't feel like I've won in life at all, right?
Wow.
Because I see people who are just way ahead of me, and it's actually very tiring, to be honest. So that's one of the things I'm trying to get over mentally, in terms of just like validating myself, like, hey, you know what, Boyan, you're not doing horribly. Yeah.
No, that's it's really interesting to see, because again, because it's crazy, because people watch this will be like, you're so far gone, like, but then it's mad.
You're so far gone.
You're so far gone, but then for you to be feeling the same way that they feel, so it's crazy how life works. And I feel like some people try to attribute happiness at a monetary figure, but when really when you hit that figure, it's just like, oh, is that it? Okay, cool. Let's like, how can we keep going? So yeah, but that's really interesting to see it from that point of view. That's wow. Where do you think? So traveling. Talk to me about traveling. What's the favorite country or the best country you've probably been to?
That's a good question.
Just last year.
Huh?
Just last year, or was it this year?
Oh, this year I've done way more traveling. Last year I did like Madeira and Lisbon.
Okay.
I think that was it. So the best country, I think New York City, in my opinion, is a bit overrated. But I've only been to Manhattan, right? Miami, amazing. Really enjoyed Miami. I think West Palm also is really nice. Bahamas, we were on Nassau. And to be honest, I didn't really get to enjoy Bahamas because we were working like 12 hours a day. But Bahamas is incredibly beautiful. I feel like it's been very commercialized. So I probably would choose to check out like Mexico next time I'm in that area of town.
Yeah, for sure.
Of the world.
I think even Cancun is a little bit
maybe Tulum, I don't know, but I think I've actually really enjoyed Dubai. I love Dubai. Yeah, because the people that you meet there, when you walk down the street, you just feel super safe.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's just like, it's just safe.
Yeah. The Sharia law. I like the law system. The main use of the Muslim the Quran and implement it. And the strictness allows you to, walk down with a £2 million watch, whereas in London, that's,
So I felt very safe in Dubai. I really enjoyed it. I think hospitality, like the service in Dubai, I have never seen anything like it. And obviously, like, I'm not used to going to super nice places, or like, I'm only getting used to it now, right? So we were in like a pretty decent restaurant, and I walk in the bathroom, right? And then this guy points to a urinal at me, and he was in a uniform, so I thought it was just like a worker, using the bathroom. And I was like, okay, cool, thank you. Guy stands over there, I finish, turns on the tap, and I was like, what a fucking weirdo, because he was just standing there, right? So I used the tap next to me, and there was just water running on this side, but he turned on, because I didn't realize I was like service staff in the toilet or whatever, right? He just looked at me and was like this kind of face, and I was like, does this guy have a problem with something? Is he all right? Because why the fuck would you turn on a tap and just leave it, right? So then he hands me a towel, and then that's when it clicked. I was like, oh, this guy was supposed to be, helping me. I was like, oh, thank you. Sorry about that. I just didn't know.
Yeah, the service there is great. I realized straight away, as soon as I got to the petrol station, I was filling up. I was gonna get out, and then they said, no, it's cool, I got it. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
They took my card, they paid for me. I didn't have to leave my car. I was like, wow, that's already I knew from them. But yeah, no, Dubai, especially, I think why I love it is the networking opportunities, because most of the people we speak to out there, they're doing something. Yeah. They have to be doing something to be out there like that. So, like 9 times out of 10, it's a useful connect, and you can make use of it. So yeah, I love. Do you see yourself moving to Dubai?
Yeah. See myself moving to Dubai for sure. I really enjoyed Madeira, actually. So, natural beauty wise, the hiking trails there is ridiculous. Like, we did psychedelics as well once when we were on a hike. That was like the most beautiful experience. I really enjoyed Lisbon, but not so much the city center, more so like the surrounding towns. There's this place called Cascais, nearby, really good surf spot, about a 30-minute drive out, I think, or 20 minutes or something. But, people in Portugal, I just think are fantastic. I actually met, at the time, a follower of mine, but, became a really good friend. And he was kind enough to drive us around for the whole day, show us around, go out to eat and stuff. And it was an awesome time. I really enjoyed Portugal, to be honest.
Yeah. Nah, that's smooth. Talking of being like a digital nomad, what countries have you done that in, and what was your experience doing so? Because I'm actually looking to travel and also work, and just because since I make money online, Wi-Fi money, so I could be about. So how does that work for you?
I've never actually done full nomading, just disclaimer, because basically it's kind of like 2 weeks at a city or whatever, and you're just hopping about. I find traveling very disruptive to my work.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think it's for me. I think if I ever did it, it would be like 3 to 6 months per city kind of thing, because I really hate it. It stresses me out. But I think you need to experience it.
Yeah.
To really realize that, oh shit, it's actually not as cool. Because it's kind of like, imagine one of the places people glorify a lot is Bali, right? But if you have clients in the US, you're staying up to 3 a.m. to take meetings.
Wow.
You don't want to do that, right? It's crazy. And then that's why I haven't been to Asia yet, to be honest. Yeah. Just because time zones. In Dubai, it was actually fairly manageable, but I think going forward, it's a sticky one, right? I like having a base.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just because as a kid, I never traveled a lot. So I like the feeling of having one location, which is like my home.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the future, I'll probably have multiple homes. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, talking about homes and investments and assets. So I guess you worked on your skill first, you increased your income.
Yeah.
That's working for you. When do you decide, yeah, cool, I'm getting so much, I don't want to spend it, but I can't just have it chilling in my bank account? What was that process like?
Oh, I mean, I think I'm like probably net positive investing wise, but I've made so little money investing that it's not even relevant. So,
oh yeah.
Personally, I think if you have less than 100K liquid, just don't even bother. Because like,
You know
why?
You know what's crazy? I made a TikTok about, even less than that. I said, if you have less than 5K, don't even bother investing
in the stock market. 5K, dude, because it's like buy skills.
Yeah. I personally believe in increasing your skill set, increasing your income, and then and also reinvesting back into the business type of thing. And then once you get to a certain stage, cool, you can diversify. But yeah, I had a lot of backlash. People saying, "Oh, you can trade," but it's not. You need to be leveraged. You need to, there's no point trying to flip a 5K account, risking so much just to But yeah, carry on with your.
Sure. Alex Hormozy actually did a TikTok recently, which is like, instead of investing into the S&P 500, invest into the SME. And I was like, yo, this is cool. His whole concept, he was like, I want to make active income cool again. And I 100% agree, because I think, if your active income is 25K a year, then work on that first, because how much of 25K are you really going to be able to save? Like 5?
Yeah, especially with the rises. The rises in living.
Yeah. So I mean, I think investing into skills and stuff is what you should be spending all of your money on until at least 100K. I mean, I'm just crossing that barrier now, I'd say. But even for me now, I'm just like, well, I can invest, but would it be better if I just paid someone else to join my team or something, right?
And get more money.
Yeah. And another thing is, it's like, he mentioned, as soon as you commit most of your income into something like the index funds and stuff, you're basically admitting to yourself, hey, you know what, this is the level of income that I'm happy with, right? Because, if you're able to, contribute 5K a month, significant, by 60, you're going to be pretty fucking rich, right? But you're not going to have that much money to, invest in other areas of your life, right? So your income kind of plateaus a little bit.
Yeah. It's like admitting, okay, cool. You know what? The S&P can do the rest for me. I don't know what to do with the money. Mm-hmm. It can do its 10% per year. Let me give it there. But, I feel like if you believe in yourself, you might be able to make that work and navigate through life just by investing into certain businesses and transferring money, literally just transferring wealth.
Yeah.
But that's cool. But watches, I know you got a watch collection. Was you buying based on the looks and emotional feeling, or strictly investment, or half-half?
Half-half, really. I mean, I would have not bought any watches if it lost money, right? So this one I picked up in the second time. So last summer when I went to Madeira, Funchal, there was an authorized dealer, and I saw it in the window, and they were able to give it to me. So this watch probably is like up. I think if I sell it now, I'd probably make like 2-3K after dealer fees and shit.
Yeah.
And then my Wimbledon I bought from my AD in London, and then I bought an Air King from Pride and Pinion. The guy that reacts to watches.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I bought it from his dealership.
Oh, wow.
And because I heard that Air King was going to get discontinued, and it did. So that was, it went up a nice amount. But I don't think I'll be buying watches, full disclaimer, for a while, because I feel like I went a bit crazy last year, because from a percentage of my income standpoint, it wasn't. I mean, it's nice, right? But what do you actually need 3 watches for? I only wear my Air King in this right now, because my girlfriend wears in Wimbledon. But yeah, I mean, if you have more than kind of like 3-4 watches, you're not going to be able to wear every single one, and they just kind of sit in the closet collecting dust. And yeah.
And I think you mentioned about getting into crypto. I guess, was it more of like a FOMO type of situation?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I see my boys. One guy that I know I'm friends with, he was up like $1 million, right? And he lost it all. So, but me seeing him go from 0 to $1 million, I was like, whoa, it's gonna create FOMO in anyone, right? So I had a bunch of FOMO for that, and I lost, I think in total, probably around like 20K in crypto. But 20K is like, I know people that have fucked up big time on crypto.
Yeah,
it's fine.
No, that makes sense. And then, so we covered, I think covered. I mean, does properties entice you at all?
Yeah, eventually. But I think properties is a very is a very active source of income, unless you buy like either commercial real estate or, multi-family accommodation unit. So for example, like a building like this can become quite passive because it's at a large enough scale where you can hire people to do all the day-to-day management, right? But if you buy like a buy-to-let house, fuck me, that's a ton of work, dude.
So building like this, so that makes sense. But a single buy-to-let.
Oh, it's a horrible idea. I even think rent-to-rent as a model is pretty low leverage because one of my friends, Naeem, just Naeem on TikTok, shout out. Anyways, he's pretty big. He's way bigger than me from a social presence standpoint. But he genuinely had a 6-figure property business that was how much money they were doing, right? And they had like 10 or 16 properties, I can't remember, but he was telling me, bro, it's like operationally fucking nightmare. It's not passive at all because, I don't know, a tenant is complaining about a broken light bulb, this one needs the boilers repaired. Shit happens all the time, right? And it's like rent to rent, lower margins. Why bother? So that's why he's actually pivoted to agency now. So that's how we kind of connected a bit more. But yeah, I think property, unless you're like, a couple M's in the bank, just don't bother. I think it's a very much like a slow way to build wealth, which is fine. I mean, but I want to get rich by 30, right?
Yeah.
So probably not the most optimal path.
Yeah, no, I made the video about, a buy-to-let may not be the best use of capital. So if someone 30K, you can put that into a deposit and get, £500 profit a month.
Yeah.
Obviously, there is capital appreciation. That's what a lot of people commenting under the post, but
but that's not liquid though.
It's not liquid, and that's wealth preservation. That's wealth preservation asset. That's what the Russians and the Chinese are doing, buying houses in London. They treat those as bank accounts. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but if you're trying to actually get somewhere in life and actually, have liquid cash to be able to do what you want to do in your own terms, there's so many other business models that you can do with 30K and to begin with. So I was trying to make that point, and a lot of people just saying, just trying rubbish in the comments. But I guess people don't understand there's leverage versus unleveraged, and they will never get it, I guess.
Yeah. Also, I think for example, look what happened, right? When Russia and Ukraine war broke out, all of the oligarchs' assets got seized. Mm-hmm. It's like, fuck, you technically own it legally on paper, but an external entity can regulate and just take shit from you essentially, right? So that's a actual risk if you are at that level, right? Obviously, for someone like us, anything under $1 billion, to be honest, it doesn't really affect you, right? But for example, with China, one risk is, if you get exposed that you're sifting money abroad, you're fucked. Disappearance level, right?
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, a lot of it is without getting too much far into the conspiracies and stuff, but I feel, because I've been watching a lot of historical documentaries about banking and stuff, and food brands, pharmaceuticals, and also the energy brands. It's some scary shit that corporates are doing, right? So, I think investing is very interesting. I think decentralized finance going forward, I think decentralization is the way, because you can't have some central parties creating the rules, because when you have one party creating the rules, they're going to inevitably create it to benefit themselves, right? Which, I mean, if I was the reason why I'm not bitter about it is because I know if I was the center party creating the rules, I would, tilt the scale a little bit in my favor too,
For sure.
Just human nature.
Yeah, no, for sure. That definitely makes sense.